This exercise, I'm going to show you how to create a layer mask for the Mona Lisa, which is going to protect or hide the background, and we'll only see the Mona Lisa. Instead of copying and pasting Mona Lisa onto another layer, we're going to just keep her with a layer mask. So we have all of our original pixels if we want to make any changes to the shape of the Mona Lisa. Now I've got the Essentials workspace set at the default. I'm going to click on the Layers tab panel and bring it over here so you can see it. And I'm going to open it up by pulling the right corner. Then I'm going to click on the Channels and panel and bring that down. The reason I'm doing this is because we're also going to learn about alpha channels. We're also going to use Quick Mask again, and to instill in you the purpose of editing with Quick Mask. We're also going to use some painting tools, opacity changes, blending modes, and design styles, because you should have learned all that by now. I'm going to unlock, you remember then there's an italicized background. I'm going to unlock it and rename it by double clicking. The dialog box comes up. I'm going to call it Mona. Enter, and now we've got the Mona Lisa. I like to start out doing a layer mask. This is actually called defacing the Mona Lisa, by the way. We are going to do a lot of things to Mona. I was usually starting with Magic Wand, but I'm finding Quick Select, as long as you don't have it, the brush too big. I'm going to change it, make sure that it's full hardness, and I'm going to change the size to about a 10. Somewhere between 10 and 13 seems to be a good size. And this will select, much to my surprise, a lot of the background. And when you have marching ants and then you add a layer mask, it recognizes that you want this part to either be hidden, or if we did it backwards, we have to invert the layer mask. I'll show you, because I'm selecting the background and I really want to see the Mona, but it's just easier for me to select the background, so I'll probably have to invert it. Let's see, we still have to do some touch up. Oops, Command Z, because I went too far. I'm going to go down this way here. As much of the outer edge of an object as you can get with a selection. Oops. Command Z or Control Z on the PC. Let's see how much more we can get. Can we get, nope. I'd say that's about what we can get, but we got a lot, quite a bit. Let me see if I can sneak. Nope, it's not going to let me. So now I am going to click the icon that lets me paint with the layer mask. Masks always have an icon that's a square with a hole in it. If you notice on the layers panel, there's a square with a hole in it. That's to create the layer mask. There's also that icon in the channels panel. That's to create an alpha channel. And as you know, in Photoshop, there's multiple ways of doing everything. So I'm going to click on layer mask, and we're going to get that orange up. And I'm going to get a paintbrush. With this paintbrush right now, at this point in your learning curve, I suggest you only work with black and white, not shades of gray. Shades of gray create a thin mask, which we don't want to do right now. If you paint with black, it adds orange. If you paint with white, it takes away. So I'm going to see these little arrows here. I'm going to click them so white gets in the front. This is way too big a paintbrush, so I'm going to make it smaller, and I'm going to start to paint away the excess orange. Now, the reason I use a hard edge brush is because if you only are painting parts of it, then parts of it are going to have a soft edge and parts of it aren't. If I'm going to ultimately give this a soft edge, I want the whole thing to get the same kind of soft edge, and I'm not going to do that when I'm just touching up with the brush. Now, that's all you can really do in Quick Mask. We're editing marching ants. You have to go back to the marching ants to make anything happen. So this is a toggle. I turned it on by clicking this icon. I'm going to turn it off. There are my marching ants. And if you look closely, the background's selected. So if I add a layer mask now, we're going to see the background. We're not going to see Mona. I'm just going to do that so you can see that. See that? You can change it here as long as you have the mask thumbnail selected. See where the little hand is? If this is selected, it's not going to work. If this is selected, it's going to work. What the keyboard shortcut does, Command I, is it inverts color. We don't want to invert the color on the Mona Lisa. We want to invert the black and white of the mask. So on the Mac, I'm going to go Command I. On the PC, I'm going to go Control I. Now I see a little bit of rough edge here. So what I'm going to do is make sure I'm on the mask thumbnail. See the little outline? And I'm just going to slowly, with black paint, black conceals, white reveals when you're working on a layer mask. And I'm just going to clean up some of this kind of scuzzy edges here. Because we've never gotten rid of the original pixels, if I go too far like that, oh my God, all I have to do is switch the color chips with the arrows or hit the X key, that's the keyboard shortcut, and white reveals where I made the mistake. That's the beauty. You never lose your original pixels. I'm going to hold the Option key, the Alt key on the PC, and click. All I'm doing is showing you what the layer mask looks like in black and white. Now, I can see just a little bit of white there, so we really don't want that. I'm going to hit the X key to make sure I get black, paint that, and then I'm going to go back and click the Mona. I'm on the picture. I'm going to disable by holding the Shift key. Just disable, not delete the layer mask. See, everything's still there. So if I want to make changes, I can. Right now, though, all I have to do is get a sky or a new background. That's what we're doing. A new background for Mona. So I have a folder where I put some images. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and I think I got something of a rainbow. Where's the rainbow? There's her hat. There's the rainbow. I'm going to open the rainbow. I'm going to go to my Move tool, which is the first tool in the toolbar, and I'm going to click and drag this new background into the Mona Lisa picture. I don't let go till I see that I'm in there. It gives me this their different working spaces. That's okay. And because it's above her, it's hiding her. I'm going to rename it Sky just so I'm doing good work habits. I'm going to bring it below her, and I'm also going to free transform it because I can't see the rainbow. So I'm going to either do the keyboard shortcut Command T, Control T in the PC, or free transform, rather big I might say, higher resolution. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and the Option key so it resizes, maintaining the aspect ratio and also from the middle. So I'm going about that far, and then I'm going to move in and see the arrowhead and move this up to see if I can see that rainbow. There we go. I'm going to go down a little bit. I'm going to make this a little smaller. This time I'm going to go up to my options bar up here. Here's the width. Here's the height. If I click this chain, it says 48.29, this chain, it will maintain the aspect ratio while I change the numbers. So I'm going to change the numbers to 35. And I'm going to bring the sky down. And now you can see more of the rainbow. I'm going to hit the return key or the enter key on the PC. And now she's got a new background. I'm going to go down to the FX to get a drop shadow. I could also double click the Mona layer, but I'm going to do it this way because I just want the drop shadow right now. And I am going to give it more distance so we can see it. Oh, I'm on the sky. Oops. I have to go to the Mona layer. See, what layer are you on? Always remember, what layer are you on? Okay, back to FX, drop shadow, and now there is the drop shadow. I'm going to soften it. It says size, I don't know why, but I'm going to soften it. And there's the drop shadow. I'm going to click OK. I haven't saved this. I'm going to save as Mona Lisa, and I'm going to put Karen Jossel in front of it. And I'm going to save it into my tutorial stuff folder. Space there. Save. So now I've got Mona on a new background. And next in the series is 1B. Let's go there now.